I've had quite a day. I've been trying to, or I've been working toward setting up my actual certification process slash hiring process of officially being the head coach over at Atlantic High School. I've been having to jump through hoops and go through all the legal way of doing it to actually become the coach over there, so I can eventually get paid. You know, when you're around, you know, kids and young adults, they don't want to allow anybody to be around them, so they have a nice vetting process. You got to get fingerprinted, you get a background check, the whole thing. So I go up to West Palm and you know, I believe I'm ready to do this stuff, and I show up there and they say, okay, come on over here, and first thing they ask for is all right, I need a check for $99 for a fingerprinting. I'm like, great, no one told me to bring a check. Where can I get a money order? They go, oh, there's a 7-Eleven down the road. Okay, I go to the 7-Eleven down the road, I go in, okay, I'd like a money order. Like, we only take cash. Great, don't have cash. Do you have an ATM here? Sure. Go to the ATM, bring out some money, buy the money order, go back. Okay, you got your money order, great. You have your social security card? Nope. Where's the social security card? Burned in a fire. Okay. Okay, so where's the social security office? That's in West Palm off Clematis. Great, go over there. Go over to the social security office. 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning. What do you think is in front of the social security office? A line, and it is down the block. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Everybody's looking for their social security check. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? It's 21st century, it's 2017, everything's online. I can get my social security card order online. So I'm standing there, typing in my phone, register, beautiful. Okay, put in Florida driver's license, doesn't match. It doesn't match your social security number. Try it 3 times, freezes out, can't get my social security card. Okay, and then I head home. All right, so sometimes you have a plan. I've heard this a lot of times. This is like a big Jewish thing. It's like you make plans and God laughs. Like that's, you know, a custom. So while I'm doing this, I'm sitting at the light trying to get back onto Okeechobee, and then I drop my license underneath my seat, and I don't know who designs the underneath a seat. I don't know if it's the devil or, but like literally, if you drop something under your seat, it's never gonna either you're never gonna get it or you're never gonna get it without ripping off your fingernail or gouging the back of your hand or something like that. So I pull it out. I'm sitting there at the light, and a train is waiting to go by, and I just grab the steering wheel and I scream on the top of my lungs. Ah! Ah! What's the first thing you do after you do that? You look in your rearview mirror and see if anybody saw you. So I let that little roar out because I was angry. And one of the things that I wanted to be able to do is to be able to kind of let my emotions out a little bit in a safe, non-affecting anybody else way, because a lot of the times I'm like, it's okay, it's all right, and then someone comes in 2 minutes late and like, why are you late to class, get out of here? And obviously it's not because of them being late, it's because I'm not dealing with my own emotions. I'm not dealing with my own fears and lack of control. And realistically, that's kind of what happened in that moment. Was I was so pent up about being out of control that I started getting angry, right? Because any one of those individual things is just a nuisance, but what builds the anger is this lack of ability for me to control the circumstances that are around me. But in life, you're not going to be able to control most of the circumstances you have around you, and whatever circumstances you do control, may or may not actually have an impact on your outcome, right? The world will always throw you exactly what you need. So I'll give you a little story that I kind of came up with, and it's kind of a hodgepodge of things that I've heard before. It's a little tale, and I love to, spin some yarn to get you guys in that mindset of this could possibly happen somewhere. So there was a young boy, and he tried to help his father one day, and his father said, listen, take this gold coin down to the bank. We got to pay the mortgage for the month. So the boy says, sure, Dad, I'm going to go. And he says, listen, son, you've got to be down there by 4 o'clock. That's when they close. So make sure you get down there or we're going to miss our mortgage payment. So the boy goes, of course, Dad, I'll do it. So he grabs his coin, marches down the road. Okay, he's about to cross the street. Sure enough, as he's about to cross, truck comes right in front of him. Whoa, real close. The guy slams on his brakes. Hey, watch where you're going, kid. Big stationary truck, one of those things. It keeps going. right? And the kid's like, whoa, you know, I'm on my way here. I'm on a deadline. So he's like a little frazzled. He starts walking across the street, goes over the bridge, takes out the gold coin, makes sure he has it. Sure enough, slips, drops the coin off the bridge into a creek. Okay, and of course he is like, oh no, my dad's gonna be so upset. So he runs down and he starts sifting through the creek, through the silt and through the mud. And as he does that, he starts kicking up all this silt and mud to the point where he can't actually see the bottom anymore. So there's an old fisherman sitting by the side of the creek who's fishing, and he goes, leave it, come sit by me. And the kid goes, no, you don't understand. I have to be at the bank by 4 o'clock. My dad's gonna kill me. He says, listen, sit by me, just leave it. And after a couple more seconds of like, you know, not being able to find this coin, he's just kind of, just gives up. And it comes and he sits down. So he starts to talk to him a little bit, and they talk to each other. And, you know, a few minutes goes by, and all of a sudden there's a glint out of the corner of the kid's eye. And the sun hits the coin in the water. So all that silt and all that mud that he kicked up finally settled down to the point where he can actually see the coin. He carefully goes in, grabs it, and he's on his way. He gives the fisherman a nice thank you, and he starts going across the street. Looks at his watch, it's already 4 o'clock. And he's like, oh no, the bank's gonna be closed. So he runs to the bank as quickly as he can, and he gets there. Sure enough, it's flipped over, it says closed. He goes, oh no, they must have left already. So he sees someone walking toward the door, unlocks it, pops open. Sure enough, it's Mr. Stationary Man making a delivery. Oh, you again. Well, come on in. Runs in, sees the banker. Listen, can I give this to you? Yeah, I'll take it. It's 4 o'clock. Why not? So he grabs it. He makes the delivery, and obviously they make the mortgage payment on time. So when I think of this story, there's a bunch of things that come up. One thing that I kind of reiterated earlier is that you have plans that you can, you know, you could try to execute, but life is going to always throw you a curveball, always. And it's a matter for you, can you, you know, change and morph into whatever it is that you need at that moment. The second thing is this, that just because somebody is not on the same page as you doesn't necessarily make them an enemy. So the person who cuts you off at the light may have prevented you from getting smashed while you cross the intersection, like that. You don't know the grand scheme of this thing, right? Right? And then the final thing is this, like patience. And things will happen in their own time. And the more you try to force something to happen, the less it'll actually come to you. And that's that boy waiting in that water, trying to pull everything up. Oh, I want this coin, I need this coin. And all of a sudden you can't actually see what it is that you actually need anymore. And it's not until you step back and just let things settle for a little bit that you gain clarity. Transformational Thursday for today. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow.